There comes a moment in everybody's life where the excitement disappears. The dream that once made your heart race starts feeling heavy. The motivation fades. The support gets quiet. The progress becomes invisible. And suddenly, every step forward feels harder than it did before. That is the moment most people stop. Not because they are incapable. Not because they were never talented. Not because success was impossible for them. They stop because they expected the journey to feel rewarding before it became rewarding. But life doesn't work like that. Success has a strange way of testing people before rewarding them. It asks for patience before results, discipline before confidence, sacrifice before recognition, and resilience before victory. That's why the people who eventually succeed are rarely the most gifted people in the room. They are the people who kept going when continuing no longer felt easy. The truth is, almost nobody talks about the lonely phase of growth. Everybody celebrates the finish line. Very few people understand the years spent crawling toward it. Nobody sees the nights filled with doubt, the mornings where getting out of bed feels impossible, the silent battles happening inside your mind while the world expects you to smile and pretend everything is fine. But those moments matter, because those moments shape you. Pressure reveals character. Struggle builds endurance. Failure teaches lessons success never could. Every successful person you admire has walked through seasons where nothing made sense. There were moments they questioned themselves, moments they felt behind, moments they wondered if they were wasting their time, but they kept going, and that decision changed everything. Sometimes people think motivation is what creates success. It's not. Motivation is temporary. Feelings are temporary. What changes lives is commitment. The decision to continue even when your emotions tell you to stop. Because the truth is, your future cannot be built on moods. If you only work when you feel inspired, you will spend most of your life standing still. The people who transform their lives learn how to move forward even when they feel tired, uncertain, or discouraged. That is real strength. Real strength is not loud. It's not arrogance. It's not pretending to have all the answers. Real strength is quietly carrying your responsibilities while fighting battles nobody knows about. It's continuing after rejection, trying again after embarrassment, believing in yourself after disappointment. And sometimes the hardest thing you will ever do is continue without immediate proof that things are getting better. But understand something. Growth is often invisible in the beginning. A seed underground looks like nothing is happening, but beneath the surface, roots are forming. Your life works the same way. Not every season is meant for showing results. Some seasons are meant for building foundations, and foundations are built in silence. That's why patience matters so much. People destroy their future because they become impatient with progress. They compare themselves to people they barely understand. They rush journeys that were never supposed to happen overnight. They quit during the part of the process that was meant to strengthen them. But life is not a race. Everybody's timing is different. Some people succeed early and lose everything later. Some struggle for years before finally finding their breakthrough. Some discover purpose at 20, others discover it at 50. Your timeline does not define your worth. The important thing is that you keep moving. Even small steps matter. A lot of people underestimate consistency because consistency looks boring. It's not flashy. It doesn't create instant applause. It doesn't go viral overnight. But consistency changes lives. One workout may not transform your body. One book may not transform your mind. One good decision may not transform your future. But repeated daily over time, everything changes. The strongest people are not always the smartest people. They are often the people who mastered repetition. They learned how to continue long after excitement disappeared. And that is what separates dreamers from achievers. Everybody has goals. Everybody has ideas. Everybody talks about the life they want, but very few people stay committed long enough to become the person required to achieve it, because dreams demand transformation. You cannot build a different life while remaining the same person mentally. Growth requires letting go of excuses, letting go of old habits, letting go of comfort. And comfort is dangerous because comfort convinces people to settle. Maybe this is enough. Maybe you should stop trying. Maybe you're not meant for more. But deep inside, you know when you're capable of greater things. You feel it. There's a voice inside you that refuses to disappear, a vision that keeps returning, a desire for more purpose, more discipline, more meaning. Listen to that voice. Because most people abandon themselves long before life ever defeats them. They stop believing, stop trying, stop risking, stop growing. Not because they truly lost, but because fear convinced them to surrender early. Fear has destroyed more dreams than failure ever will. Fear of embarrassment, fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. But understand this clearly. Every successful person once looked inexperienced. Every expert was once a beginner. Every confident person once doubted themselves. Nobody starts fully prepared. People become prepared by taking action repeatedly. That's why courage matters more than confidence. Confidence comes after action, not before it. You build confidence by surviving difficult moments, by learning from mistakes, by proving to yourself that you can recover. And recovery is powerful, because life will knock you down sometimes. Plans will fail. People will disappoint you. Opportunities will disappear. You will experience heartbreak, setbacks, confusion, and moments where nothing feels fair. But your life is not defined by what happened to you. It's defined by what you choose to do next. That's the difference between people who stay stuck and people who rise. One group spends their life asking, "Why did this happen to me?" The other asks, "What can this teach me?" Pain can either make you bitter or wiser. The choice belongs to you. Some of the strongest people became strong because life gave them no other option. They learned resilience through hardship, patience through struggle, discipline through necessity, and eventually they realized something important. The obstacle was shaping them for the future they wanted. That difficult season taught them endurance. That rejection redirected them. That failure humbled them. That loneliness introduced them to themselves. Sometimes life isolates you because it's trying to help you hear your own voice again. And in those quiet moments, you discover who you really are. Not who the world told you to be, not who fear convinced you to become, but who you truly are underneath all the noise. That's why self-reflection matters. Most people spend their lives distracted. Constant noise, constant comparison, constant entertainment. But growth requires silence sometimes. You need moments where you sit alone with your thoughts and ask yourself honest questions. Who am I becoming? What habits are destroying my potential? What fears are controlling my decisions? Am I building the life I truly want or just surviving? Because surviving and living are not the same thing. A lot of people exist without truly living. They postpone happiness, postpone dreams, postpone growth, waiting for the perfect time. But the perfect time rarely comes. Life moves quickly. Years disappear faster than people expect. That's why you cannot waste your entire life waiting to become the person you already know you could be. Start now, even imperfectly, even slowly, even afraid. Because movement creates momentum, and momentum changes everything. One decision can redirect your future. One disciplined year can completely transform your life. One refusal to quit can separate you from the person you used to be. Never underestimate the power of persistence. There are people who succeeded not because they were extraordinary, but because they stayed committed longer than everyone else. While others quit, they continued. While others complained, they adapted. While others doubted themselves, they kept learning. And eventually, their persistence created opportunities that talent alone never could. That's why you must protect your mindset. Your environment matters. The voices around you matter. What you consume daily matters. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, excuses, and hopelessness, your energy will slowly start matching it. But when you feed your mind with discipline, wisdom, purpose, and growth, your perspective changes. And perspective changes lives. Because two people can experience the same struggle and respond completely differently. One sees failure, the other sees training. One sees rejection, the other sees redirection. One stops, the other keeps going. Be the person who keeps going. Not because it's easy, not because you always feel motivated, but because your future deserves the effort. There is a version of you waiting on the other side of discipline. A stronger version, a wiser version, a more peaceful version. But you cannot meet that version of yourself if you quit too early. So when life feels heavy, keep going. When nobody notices your effort, keep going. When progress feels slow, keep going. When doubt enters your mind, keep going. Because every difficult step is building something inside you that comfort never could. One day you will look back and realize the moments that nearly broke you were the moments that built you. You will realize the struggle had purpose, the waiting had purpose, the setbacks had purpose, and most importantly, you will realize that your breakthrough began the moment you decided not to stop. So take a deep breath, reset your focus, remember why you started, and keep going, because your story is not finished yet.